He snorts cocaine, and that he gets superpowers from it.
Well, yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the Words Are Hard show, where we take suggestions out of the audience, but also out of the heads of ourselves, and then we put it into a random hat app on the phone, and then we draw it out and talk about it.
That was the most convoluted way to explain what we do. That was great.
That's the name of the show, though.
What? That Words Are Hard?
Words are convoluted.
Words Are Convoluted. The new name of the show.
Welcome back to the Words Are Convoluted show.
We got this.
Today we're going to talk about... Well, we already talked about that.
We talk about a lot. Alex, sing us a song while we wait.
Well, you know what we haven't done in a while?
What?
Is being a big fucking nerd with Greg.
Oh, I'm not prepared for that, though.
No?
Well, I could be if you guys wanted me to.
I want to know more about Snowflame. Maybe in another episode.
Greg, what's going on in the world of being a nerd?
All right. Well, let me dig out my phone, because I did set something aside, because Alex did mention Snowflame.
Okay.
And I had not heard tell of this myself, which is surprising, because I'm supposed to be the big nerd.
Yeah.
And it turns out...
Can I just say that right out of the bat, when you say Snowflame, I'm thinking about, like, a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race.
And it might as well be. The actual description of what Snowflame is might as well be.
This
Snowflame.
I think it's a DC Comics. This character is amazing, and probably Charlie Sheen's spirit animal. If I could guess.
I'm trying to find
Snowflame.
So Snowflame is a villain.
Okay.
This is just of what I know. Snowflame is a villain, and he gets his powers from a very convoluted method. He claims that this one particular thing he is born from it, and this he is an extension of it. I'm just waiting for
Stop drawing it out and tell me what the fuck it is. Holy shit!
He's a guy that gets superpowers from cocaine.
He snorts cocaine, and that he gets superpowers from it.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, how else do you get your superpowers?
He's a villain, right?
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, who's stronger out on the streets than a crackhead, right?
Well, that and
I honestly think that's kind of where they were going with that.
Is that so? I mean, I don't know anything really other than it.
You ever see those videos or hear those stories online where it's like, yeah, the cops found this guy
in Florida
who was obviously the cops found this guy who was obviously on speed, and they pulled him over and they shot him 3 times and pepper sprayed him 6 times, and he kept fighting them back, so he ended up running away. I think there was one where there was this cop pulled over this guy, and he gets out, and he might have been like an Xboxer or something.
Sure.
The guy was like 6'7" or 8. He was huge, and he gets out, and there's just this little cop, and they're doing the regular talking and stuff, and all of a sudden the guy just swings at the cop. So the cop pulls out and pepper sprays him, and you hear on the audio recording that the thing the police was wearing, all you hear from the guy is, "You just made shit worse for you, motherfucker." And he starts throwing him, and he's beating the shit out of this cop. So the cop pulls out a gun and shoots him, and then he just goes, "You did it now," and he's like beating the hell out of this guy, and he just got shot and pepper sprayed like 3 times, and he's just like beating the shit out of this cop. And they were interviewing the cop, and he's like, "I didn't think I was going to be able to stop him, and I didn't." Because the guy, in the end, gets in his car and drives away.
Straight up fucks off, right?
Yeah.
Just like, well, that's the thing. I guess I've seen like plenty of videos like of this random tweaker who's in a fucking like McDonald's and being tased like 5 times. Like he's got 5 tasers shot into him, and like just
and he's like, "More!"
he's just like trudging forward.
You can't stop him because
the only thing that's slowing him is that his muscles are tensed up.
Exactly.
He can't feel the pain. When you're on bath salts, man, you can eat a guy's face.
And that's the thing. I mean, a lot of these situations end up coming out of Florida, specifically Florida.
Do you know why though? Because the police records in Florida are public record.
Okay.
Because they're allowed to be public records. So when you hear Florida man,
they're
reporting on Florida because it's happened elsewhere, but you can't get a hold of the records on a public level outside of Florida. It's one of those states that allows it, so that's why you hear all the stories
Because
about
they're
people
the
from
ones
Florida
that will
specifically.
admit to it, or make it public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, man on bath salts eats alligator.
Yeah,
Like, I've actually seen that one, and I cried a little bit when I laughed. I'm like, what part of the alligator? Then you get these ones like, woman...
So then we can agree then that Snowflame is from Florida. In
has to
the
be
comic
from Florida.
universe.
he's a viable superhero. Is I think what
No,
we're trying.
super villain. He's not a good
Villain.
guy.
Okay, that's what I think we're trying to say here is that he is like when somebody says like, "Oh, he gets his powers from cocaine," and everyone's like, "That's dumb." We're sitting here like, "No.
He even had an army of coke-headed henchmen.
Like, hear them out."
So he didn't just get hopped up on cocaine himself. He got in a whole army of...
He's got tiger's blood.
Do you want to hear a quote from Snowflame?
I would love a quote from Snowflake.
I am Snowflame. Every cell of my being burns with white-hot ecstasy. Cocaine is my god, and I am the human instrument of its will.
If that is not the most goddamn...
They went all out with this
If that's not the
character.
most goddamn perfect supervillain description,
Okay.
I don't know what is.
So I would like to. Who does he fight?
Frig. Who did he fight?
Yeah. Please tell me he fights
I'm pretty sure it was
the
like
Flash.
nobody important.
The Flash. So it's like cocaine versus speed.
Huh. The- That's
Yeah, this doesn't say, but something in
Yeah.
the back of my head leads me to believe it was like Green Lantern.
Really? It seems like something that
it's like, what are his powers, though, specifically?
Just
cocaine.
cocaine gives him superpower.
What kind of superpowers?
Just like, what kind of
The more
superpowers does he
cocaine
get?
that he
Yeah.
used, the more powerful he became.
What kind of
Superhuman strength, speed,
There you go.
pyrokinesis. He was immune to pain, and if someone just touched
So-
him, that person would get a contact high.
So if he does coke, he can move flames. He can move fire.
Pyrokinesis, that would be what that means.
I can move fire with my mind.
That's why he's called Snowflame.
I get it. Snow flame.
I love it. No,
No,
this is-
I would love for him to actually, for them to portray him in a movie,
yeah.
but have him just as bad quotes as Arnold Schwarzenegger in as Mr. Freeze,
Yeah.
where he'd be
God.
like, "It's gonna be a white Christmas," so, or just like,
it's not really-
or somebody goes, somebody's just like, "Who are you? What are you?" And he's just like, "I'm cocaine, baby."
It's like, it's like, who are you? He gives the exact description, like that exact quote. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, cocaine is my god, and I am the white hot.
And then he steps into the light, and it's just like this fucking strung out fat guy in his tighty whities, and he's just like, "Cocaine is my god."
And then he does cocaine and
I was
immediately
thinking-
turns like
Or it's
fit.
Dave Chappelle,
That's
that
what I was
character
thinking.
that he had with the crack around his
Got
mouth.
any more of that cocaine?
And they're just like,
So yeah, when Alex brought this up, I decided to look for a few other...
because when people talk about cokeheads, I picture the Dave Chappelle one, and all of his impressions of cokeheads, like when he said that he left a chocolate bar in his front seat, and somebody broke into his car and steal it, so he drove around the slums looking for a crackhead with chocolate on their face, and he's just like, "You there? Where'd you get that chocolate on your face?" And they're like, "This is doo doo, baby."
It's not chocolate.
Where'd you get that chocolate on your face? Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle needs to play this character. That's what I'm saying.
So Snowflame wasn't the only offensive character that I could find. When I started trying to research Snowflame, when
Yeah.
he told me about
I
it,
wouldn't necessarily call him offensive, unless they made him a stereotypical black person.
no, he was very white.
He was. Oh yeah.
So there's also Armless Tiger Man. His real name is Eric Hertz. He worked in a mechanical laboratory in Germany. His arms ended up being caught in a machine and were ripped off. So he developed a
And it
strong
hurts.
hatred for machines because of the bad experience and started working on building strength in his mouth and legs and even sharpened his teeth into fangs for weapons.
Wait, Marvel or DC?
This one, Marvel.
Uh,
For the record, Snowflame was DC.
It was DC.
I would love to see like that hero like fall on his face, like scrape his face, and then he's just like, ah, fuck, just a second, and whoever he's fighting is standing there just waiting for him, and he's just like fucking.
Oh, but his toes were very dexterous, so it allowed him to throw daggers with them.
He could throw daggers with his toes, and he lost his arms.
He had no arms.
Did it hurt?
Well, I mean, they're trying to.
Oh, I see what you did there, because his name was Hertz. So the Nazis sent him on a bunch of missions to America to destroy machines.
Well,
he hated machines.
Nobody's
right?
going to attack him either. How did he get to America without a machine? Did he
That's
get
a
on the
good
airplane and he's
question.
like, "Fuck this,"
And then start freaking out.
Just starts
He's like Mr. T from the A-Team. You have to knock him out before he
he
flies.
starts kicking the airplane. The stewardess is like, "Would you like anything to drink or any snacks?" And he's like, "Get me the fuck out of here."
Marvel lists his weakness as being handicapped due to his lack of arms. That's his weakness. He's handicapped.
His weakness, gloves.
So when when they announce for like his arrest, they're like, do they say that when he has a dagger in his toes, is he armed?
No, he's still unarmed.
They're like an unarmed man with an unarmed armed man.
Yeah, an unarmed man wielding daggers.
An unarmed armed man.
A disarmed armed man?
No, he has arms. Well,
No, he does not.
No, he has arms as in weapons. So he's not disarmed. He's unarmed, armed.
He's an unarmed man
Yeah,
wielding weapons.
but if he didn't have any daggers, then he'd be unarmed, disarmed. An unarmed, disarmed man. Well, you don't got to say both. No. He lost his daggers. He threw his daggers.
But he still has his teeth.
How did he throw his daggers?
His teeth
Toes.
are very sharp too.
Everybody has teeth, but you're not considered armed just because you have teeth.
No, you're
considered teeth.
I don't know. If you'd met my sister when we were growing up, you'd consider it armed.
Wow, that was a weird statement to make. That was kind
I'm saying teeth can be weapons.
of... Oh, anyway, my sister bites things.
She used
My
to.
sister tried. My sister.
I ripped her arms off, so now she just bites everything.
My sister yelled once. She's like, "Ah!" and then bit herself and said, "Alex bit me." My father took a look at the bite marks and said, "His mouth is a lot bigger than that, you dumbass."
That's sad. I wish they would have called him instead of Snowflame. I wish they would have called him Snow Cane.
Snow cane.
Okay.
And he has the power to like move like frozen or snowy things instead of fire.
Oh, that would have been DC
Yeah.
Comics. If you're listening, you need to revamp because they just rebooted their whole universe anyway.
Snow
you need
Cane.
to ramp Snowflame into Snow Cane.
So he can control like cold and ice things, and he has a cane, but the cane is like a flask filled with cocaine.
Okay, now we're just getting way out of it.
It's like a pixie stick.
and they're like, why do you carry a cane? He's like, this is my cocaine.
So, if you like Snowflame, let's talk about the Floronic Man next.
Okay,
So the Floronic Man on his own.
cleans teeth.
No. He's basically a guy. You've heard of Poison Ivy from the Batman comics, right?
Yeah.
She can control plants. He's basically the male version of Poison Ivy, but he kind of his body is made of plants himself. So he's like a human consciousness in a plant-made body.
Isn't that Groot?
No, Groot's an alien, so he's not really the same thing.
I am Groot.
What about the thing from the whatever Shop of Horrors or whatever, the big plant monster? Oh, baby! You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I can't remember the name of it.
The big
Was it
fucking
Lucille?
plant. Maybe. No. Well, that's the name of like Muddy Waters' guitar, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, go on.
Well, anyway, so the Floronic Man
He
at one
became-
point comes into contact with marijuana, and that marijuana regenerates his body, so his body is now literally made of cannabis.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's just another point for him.
Is he a villain?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a bad guy.
So
Typical.
Snowflame
But I'm not
obviously
done.
has super speed because of his cocaine. Does that guy have super slowdown?
It must be. But he at one point took some of Poison Ivy's DNA
Yeah.
so that he could create plant things, and made his own little pot child.
My little weed baby.
His own little weed baby.
Come here, my little weed baby.
I'm just.
You know like weirder than having a weed baby? Having a potato baby.
I don't know. I once watched a friend of mine cradle like a pound of weed like a baby.
Yeah, no, I've seen my cousins do that too. Actually,
Yeah, they see some weird. The stoners do weird things. Cradle it like a baby, and then looked up and said, "There's enough to eat."
he wasn't
But
even.
did they?
He wasn't
did they
even high when he
animate
did-
the weed and turn it into an actual baby though?
No, no.
Because that's what we're talking. The floronic man.
Floronic man.
Why not why not the hydroponic man?
Yeah, really.
Well, because when he first was created, he wasn't made.
Well,
of
I mean,
weed.
there is the two superheroes by the Jay and Silent Bob, Weed
yeah.
Man and Chronic.
Yeah, Blunt Man and Chronic.
Blunt Man and Chronic. Yeah.
What about Hate Monger?
Where does his powers come from, Greg?
He was a clone of Hitler. With a racism gun.
Racism gun?
Is this anything like Aberdolf Linkler from Rick and Morty?
Oh man, that's the best Rick and Morty character.
Aberdolf
Other than
Linkler.
Bird Person.
Yeah. So,
But yeah.
he was a clone of Hitler with a racist gun.
Yeah, so in 1963...
What does the gun do?
Stanley thought it would be a good idea to clone Hitler and turn him into a villain called the Hate Monger. He was
I
a
think I remember
purple-hooded
reading about this.
KKK racist and was cloned with the real Hitler's consciousness, which was transferred into a clone body upon his death. Didn't have any superpowers, just a special gun that he called the Hate Ray, which literally shoots out rays of hate, causing people to fight each other.
It's like the
And
frenzy
this man
spell
fought
from
the Fantastic
Skyrim.
Four.
Yes, I remember reading about that. How does he feel about the thing?
Well, the thing's just rocky, right? So he wouldn't know that he's actually Jewish.
Is he Jewish?
Benjamin J. Grimm.
The thing? Well, just because it's not like he said Benjamin J. Grimstein or...
I'm pretty sure in the comics he's supposed to be Jewish. I could be wrong.
Grimberg.
I was gonna say Grimswitz.
Grimsowitz? Yeah.
Yeah, so...
You said his name as if that was going to tell me that he was Jewish.
No,
right
I
off
was
the
just
bat.
talking about... Yeah, never mind. I realized... As I was saying it, I realized that you don't know comic book characters like I do.
You don't know like I do.
You don't know.
Are there any other weird?
So Hitler's consciousness has been transferred to multiple persons' bodies, and he just keeps taking over people's bodies and becoming like Hate Monger 2, Hate Monger 3.
Fucking Hitler.
Here's the thing. I don't. Think,
Hate Monger 2, Hate Monger 3, and Coulter. Hate Monger 4.
Donald Trump.
do you think that Hitler was just like, obviously, a sociopath, right? Like he didn't care one way or the other if someone lived or died, but didn't actually hate people. He's like, all right, well, I need to rise to power somehow. I'm just going to kill off these people. And this is the thing. It wasn't necessarily hate. But
No,
just,
he was
a rise
very
to power.
clear about the master race.
Well, sure, but like,
This isn't about Hitler. Who's next?
Yeah, Egg Foo.
Is he the big egg?
Yes, he is.
What? There's a what now?
Like if Humpty Dumpty was a supervillain.
He's basically every Asian stereotype turned into Humpty Dumpty.
Does he like? I don't know.
There's a picture of him, and maybe when you put this up, you can put a picture of it on the...
Jesus Christ! Oh well, that's.
I hit back a bunch of times.
Oh, great.
So he's an egg.
Yeah.
Does he like
Egg
noodles?
Dumpty sat on a wall. Egg Foo Dumpty had a great fall. And dishonored the whole family. Anyway, no.
Dishonored the whole family.
So
Did you really
is he big?
He's a super evil genius and former communist agent that pretty much embodies every Asian stereotype. He would speak in broken English like Charlie Chan, use his mustaches as whips, and he fought... Oh, when he fought, sorry. And for some reason, he was huge. Like, he was just this huge egg
Who does the
twirly
descriptions on these?
He uses a mustache whip.
He was actually one of Wonder Woman's villains.
So
really?
So he's Indiana Jones, basically.
And she had the... Yeah, it was like if Indiana Jones and his little companion were, like, mashed together. Short round?
Okay.
Yeah.
Short lound.
No, short round is Asian
In his
companion.
first story arc, he thought it would be a good idea to try and take down the U.S. Navy by shooting it with a missile that had Wonder Woman's boyfriend strapped to it.
Wonder Woman's not a very impressive hero in the first place, is she?
I mean, no worse than Superman.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say she's had times in the past where
The
she
lasso
wasn't
of
written very
truth.
well.
To be honest, I like Wonder Woman better than Superman.
We
Like,
could take that back to Dave Chappelle when he was talking about Wonder Woman. And he's just like, what the fuck is she going to do with a lasso of truth? She's fighting a bad guy and she ties him up, she pulls him, and they're just like, ugh! Nice tits.
you're not wrong.
So I got one more I
Okay.
wanna bring on you guys.
Okay. Thanks, Snowflame.
He she.
Oh no.
You take a wild guess.
I just want to assume how offensive this is.
Take a wild guess.
Mild-mannered Bruce Jenner was playing with some gamma rays. I don't know.
So he she is a hermaphrodite criminal.
That's
yeah.
it.
The description says the deadliest of the species is the female. The
This-
strongest of the species is the male. Combine these with the killer instinct and you have the most cunning and most vicious, the most fiendish killer of all time. He she.
Is it human?
Yeah, supposed to be.
Did you just say it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, the two of you.
Did you just assume her gender?
His or
Their gender?
Yeah,
their
did you just
gender. So I said
assume-
no. I didn't. I said it.
Did you assume he she's gender?
I stayed completely neutral.
You said it, which is like neutrally offensive, I guess, in its own right.
She basically uses the she half to seduce people with her charm, and then the he half comes in and kills those people with manly strength.
Well, that sounds like what happened to Eddie Murphy that one time.
Is this like a?
Remember
Is
that?
this? Are you talking like Norbert?
I'm talking about Eddie Murphy.
But the best part is
Yeah.
that she is a hermaphrodite straight down the middle. So one half of the body is a female,
Yeah.
the other half is a male.
So
So
it's
when
like-
the female half is seducing, she just stands this way. So you only see the female half and then seduces you.
That's why I
And then
don't.
when you get close, she turns around and the male half attacks you and kills you.
That's why I don't trust women from the left.
Yeah. I need to... I've never dated a woman until I made her spin around in a circle.
Was that a
first.
political joke? From the left.
I think we've offended enough people today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that's all I got.
I mean, 90% of this is just like drugs or stereotypes.
Which is still
That's exactly what it is.
And then the guy with his arms ripped off. Well, it was a paraplegic stereotype.
paraplegic.
Really.
Yeah. So we touched on transgendered people. We touched on paraplegics, which both of those statements sound wrong. We touched on coke fueled.
We somehow turned the thing into a Jewish conversation. We talked about people on drugs.
That's our bad, though.
Yeah, we talked. We had egg foo, the Asian stereotype. I mean,
We had Hitler reincarnated or cloned.
that's right. And I even mentioned something about black people.
Well,
I think that was a pretty good episode then all in all.
There's something there for everybody. Lessons learned.
lessons learned. Cocaine is the best superpower.
My lesson learned is that Alex is secretly Snowflake.
Yeah, my lessons learned is that comic books are just fucking racist.